And we're back. Yeah, I know, I can't believe it either. I'm still allowed on YouTube. They didn't kick me off after my video on Monday. So that's good news, that's a good start. All right, so leading on from that video then on Monday, we're gonna look at energy today. We're gonna look at a little more things that are going on in the energy market and how this is just causing this massive spiral. And if you're wondering why I haven't posted videos this week, honestly, after Monday, I mentored all day. I was exhausted. I did the video. I had to get the video out. I was absolutely exhausted. So Tuesday was a write-off for me. And then I had to create content for the private community this week. Actually, I want to just show you one thing. So I created this presentation. Let me just share my screen here. Okay, here it is. So this was the presentation I just released yesterday for the community. So this is the video I create every single month, and but anyway, I'm not going to get into it all. I've already told everyone multiple times about the benefits of the private community. I'm not going to pitch it, but let me show you the presentation here. Okay, here it is. We've got it opened up. So bearing in mind this came out yesterday on the 6th of April, and this is off the back of what I talked about on Monday with this, carbon net zero and how I don't think it's going to work out and everything like that. Let me just get to the key bit I want to show you here. Okay, slide 22 then. So I talk about Russia and Kazakhstan and all the forecasts and where this is going. Okay, so here's my opinion. The green energy plan will fail, leading to nuclear will be needed for the shortfall. Okay. So that's what I said yesterday after this presentation. It took me a long time to put together. I put that out and said nuclear will be required for the shortfall. All these governments, they're going to fail in their targets and they're going to have to go back to nuclear at a time when we have a very low output of uranium and the spot price is pretty much the same or below what it is to actually mine it. So miners, there's no incentive for them to ramp up production if they can't make a profit. So anyway, what the presentation was about was it was leading towards how I see the prices and how I see uranium going for the future. And guess what happened again? So if you think this only happens to you, no, it happens to me as well. I put in my orders for loads of uranium stocks yesterday, and then guess what comes out an hour ago? Let me go to the shared screen again. This article from BBC News. Did this do me a favor? No, it did not. So it just came out an hour ago. Nuclear strategy. UK plans 8 new nuclear reactors to boost production. So here was the article that's just come out. I've not even bothered going through it to read it because I already know what it's going to say. They cannot meet these green energy targets from solar and wind and geothermal and everything else on its own. It's physically impossible, especially with what you need running in the background. You need something running, idling in the background. You can't just ramp up and ramp down fossil fuel-based energy plants. It doesn't work like that. It's very inefficient. So what do they need? They need nuclear. What's China doing? They're building 150 new reactors. I won't go into it all. I've covered it in that presentation. If you're in the community, you've probably read it anyway, so I don't want to go over it all. But the reason I'm bringing all of this up is not just because this happens to me as well with my investments. I put all of those buy orders in, good till cancel orders, and what happens? The price goes up on these miners and the uranium companies overnight because of these announcements. This actually happened to me as well with Meta. So you remember when Facebook did their announcement? In our community, we had all these buy orders ready to go on all of the crypto digital world types thing, Sand, the Sandbox, Decentraland, Mana. We had all these orders ready to go. And then the Meta announcement came out that they were investing into the metaverse, and then prices just doubled and tripled overnight. But this is the world of investing. You've got to get ahead of the curve before the news puts stuff out. But let's get on to the point I wanted to make then. Germany, what on earth? Guys, if you're in Germany, I feel for you. Your leaders are I don't know what they are doing. They have lost the plot big time. What are they playing at? They've got hardly any energy, so they're struggling with energy. So what do? They closed 3 nuclear reactors earlier, and they want to close another 3 nuclear reactors early. So they want to close them this year. What are they thinking? This is madness. And then there's all these problems with energy and getting energy from Russia and some of the other, unfriendly nations to the West now. This is baffling. It is so bizarre. If you watch my video from Monday, it probably explains a lot of this anyway. Now, let me tell you a lie that all of these governments are running at the moment. It's huge, huge lie. They are saying that they can't use nuclear because it's not CO2 efficient. That's a lie. Nuclear, and fact check this because I know people are going to just light up the comments, oh, it's not true, blah, 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 all this nonsense. Check it for yourself. Nuclear energy, so these nuclear reactors, produce less CO2 than solar and wind. Don't believe me, check it out. They produce less CO2. The main problem though with nuclear is A, how do you dispose of the uranium rods, because they only last 12 to 18 months. Then they're either recycled into lower energy usage or recycled in other ways, but it's the disposal of it. That stuff is going to sit in the ground for 10,000 years. This is the one thing people never talk about. However, with that said, this is the only viable solution I see going forward with energy. All these countries that are closing their reactors, or the US investing pretty much zero, and people say, no, they're investing 3 billion or whatever. Yeah, that's like 15 to 20% of one reactor. Look, they're not investing into it. We are going to have an energy crisis, if we haven't already, in the West. This is what is coming, and people just cannot see it. And you can just look at all these articles. Look, Spanish inflation, unexpectedly, yeah, of course it was unexpected. No one saw that one coming, did they? Soars to almost 10% on what, yeah, okay, they're blaming it again on the war. Okay, this is what we're seeing, these energy shocks coming through. Part of it is to do with Russia and Ukraine, but a lot of it is just to do with government policies and how they've been, treating other nations over the years. What else have we got? Germany triggers emergency plan to secure energy supplies. This is what I've just been talking about. Germany were warned years ago they had too much reliance on Russian energy. Did they do anything about it? No, they didn't. They just completely ignored it. What's Russia doing at the moment then? It has offered a swift alternative to India for ruble payments. Again, I've talked about all of these things. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and all the other nations, all the stands, and you've now got Iran and all these other nations that are, you're going to see this massive two-sided conflict, I think, that's where we're going towards, where you've got all of the Western nations and then you've got all the other nations on the other side. This is not going to end well. If you think about the USA, what's the biggest export now? It's US dollars. When all these US dollars come back, because all these countries are going off of the US dollar and they're trading energy in their own currencies, what do you think is going to happen to the standard of living in the USA? You think inflation's bad now? Wait until all these dollars, 60, 70% that exist outside the USA, wait until they flood back into the USA. You think you've got high inflation now? You haven't seen anything yet. Good luck when this comes through. And it is going to come through. I can't tell you when it's going to come through, but it will come through in the future, whether it's 6 weeks from now, or whether it's 6 years from now, or 60 years from now. Who knows what tricks they might pull out the hat in the meantime. This is going to end really, really badly for most of the West. And I laugh about it because what else can I do? I'm in the West. I'm part of the West. I'm part of the culture and society. But we live in a broken system. Our leaders have failed us. They are not helping the situation. There's so much hubris with our leadership that they don't even look towards other solutions. They don't look towards, well, let's take two sides and let's look at both sides. No, it's just one-sided on everything now. We know what's right. We get our advice from these overlords at the WEF and the UN and everyone else. It is crazy. It's broken, and it's not going to end well for us. But that's all we've got time for today. I will see you again tomorrow. Take care. God bless.